isn't 2020 7 years long? Is that, yeah. So this has been around in the campaign for a while. It is a dangerous bar run by Mr. Whiskers, who is an Ultra Cat. Ultra Cats, in case there are people listening who don't know what those are, they are genetically engineered, intentionally evolved, eugenically designed cats. They're as intelligent as humans. They will say they are more intelligent than humans. The tests have not been devised to prove the case one way or the other. They, however, are able to do things like simple telekinesis, short-range telepathy. So they are a force to be reckoned with. That bar is run by a bartender, a handsome young peer with cat ears named Dixon, that they are all kind of friends with already. The bouncer is a friend of Torg's, who is a woman with an outsized military cyber arm. She's like a 5'3", sort of this is based on a friend of mine from the fair, who is like all of 5'2" or 5'3", and she's an ex-Marine who could rip you in half, but is the kindest, sweetest person ever. So I'm picturing this tiny person with like a cyber arm that would go on the rock. So it's almost ape length, and on her, it kind of drags the ground. And she's the bouncer. Because you couldn't go back to the Shire, our team has taken refuge here, because they need someplace to rest up. To reiterate what the mysterious German stranger said in the voiceover introduction, at the end of the last season, a Legion of Doom alliance of enemies of the player characters, one by one, and then at the end captured the last to complete their set and have them taken away by vampires. In case that's news to anyone listening, there are vampires. They're not occult vampires. They're, for want of a better term, science vampires. So they're mutated, but their mutation is vampiric in nature. So the last we saw them at the end of the season, they were flying away in a vectored thrust vehicle, having surrendered to the alliance of their nemesis. This was, I think, 2 episodes after I'm pretty sure Shannon or someone as a player said something like, "We're sure collecting a lot of enemies."
It was, yeah, I think it was Navad talking to Lita.
Oh yeah.
Lita didn't understand how you could possibly have so many enemies.
Yeah, it was Lita's observation.
And I kind of looked at my notes and went, "Ooh, ha, ha." So that was a cliffhanger, and the cliffhanger was resolved yesterday night when a group of basically guest stars from earlier episodes came together to go rescue you. So it was Tiber Fen and Captain Tana and Nomi, the Desolation Guide, and not Gabe. Gabe's the player.
Gecko James.
Gecko
James. Thank you. The 4 of them were about as unlikely and uncooperative a team as one could want, but they managed to pull it off and got you out of there. So you have come to this place, and you were cryo-frozen, all of you, for more than a week. Before that, you had been captured in the vampire's lair, and you had basically been in cages for another week. Things you will know. Apparently, you had encountered them during a previous session. They have several life stages. They have simple ones that are almost like ghouls that just feed. And there's more evolved version that kind of opens up and does, I forget, it's a vampire movie from 1997, where their faces kind of split open. So kind of like that. And then the really powerful ones can steal faces. So they can take someone's identity, take on their faces. And it was looking for a while, they had planned to do that with you. But as it turned out, Curse had other plans. They were featuring you at their casino. They had a casino in Temple, Texas, and they referred to you as the exhibit. And employees and special guests got to come up and see you in your cryopods and take the tour. It was extra volts to come see you. And that's where you were. So you learned those things. Coming out of cryostasis, you get cryosickness. So those of you with higher endurance will weather it better. Like Torg had like a little bit of a hangover for a day or two, and then was like, Torg, feel better. Everyone else, however, got the second Moderna shot, was like, oh my God, I can't go to work today. Impossible. So if your character is someone who would have reacted more poorly or has a weaker endurance, they're probably still sick. Your thoughts are also a little muddled. You're having a little trouble remembering around the period where you were frozen, because when you're in stasis, it freezes everything, including your neurons, and you stop. Brief aside, we'll get on with the game. You saw what happens if the neurons don't freeze. You encountered cryo ghosts. One, in fact, that has given Navad a phobia about chocolate.
Oh, yes.
So if you're frozen and you're not in full stasis, your brain, instead of stopping, becomes like super active and can telepathically connect with others, which is why you get frozen. So you have been awake now for 3 days, and you've been in the bar trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do next. So my first question is going to be, and I'm going to go person by person, how do you think, what are you doing? Like, are you helping out? Are you just meditating? Are you pacing angrily? Are you making dummies of curse and taking a whiz on the dummy? Like, Erik, how are you coping with your post-capture, post-cryo-freeze existence?
Well, considering that just before the cryo freeze, Erik underwent some of the worst experiences that he can remember. He's probably still sort of mopey about it, and not in a sort of demonstrative Morrissey kind of way, but more in a kind of like cleaning Karen over and over again kind of way.
So more almost emo fixated.
Yeah, I'm more like Captain Jazz Screamo, if you will.
So if you're helping out at all, you're probably doing taking guard on the roof, that kind of shit.
Yeah, but sort of with the knowledge that I could snap it on if I want to, but not really snapping it on.
Okay. D, how are you? What are you up to? Are you helping out? Basically, the staff has put you up here, so some of you may want to help out, but obviously others will not be up to it. Clearly, Erik is not.
D is pretty susceptible to sicknesses, so like the rat poisoning and all these other things. So I have a feeling that she would not be doing very well. Just really tired. If anything, she'd be like trying to help, probably like as a greeter, just saying hi and welcoming people, helping out here and there, but not a lot. A little bit lower energy than normal.
So like a lot of sleeping, a lot of fluids, probably as the sweats. So
Yeah.
you've got you have the Moderna for sure. Okay, Goldwater. Where are you coming from?
As far as like physical health goes, I think this would tie into the sunlight issue for my character. I have a problem with direct sunlight, and I can like burn and then blister, and I feel like it's almost like a reverse problem, where I came out of it with like, well, I don't want to say freezer burn, that sounds like a joke, but like basically like caustic burns from the cold, and the thawing is making it heal, but it hurts a lot. But again, I'm very stoic. So I'm kind of powering through it. The thing I'm trying to figure out is, how do I get my stuff back?
Right.
I need my stuff.
We'll have an interaction about that in a minute. I can also assume maybe you've got some. It sounds like you've got some healing. You probably have some gauze
Yeah.
over some of the wounds, right? Because your skin probably is blistered and broken in places.
Yeah, and like cream and stuff. I have to keep putting on like lotion to try and get these.
Yeah.
The
And probably staying
don't break out and get infected.
not
Unguent.
going outside during the day at all
No, no way.
while you're wounded, just not even trying.
Nope.
Okay. Navad. So remember when I said that everyone at some point had cushions duct taped to them and you were thrown in the garbage?
Mm-hmm.
Not Navad. Nomi was the one doing the duct taping and she didn't tape any cushions to you.
Yeah. No, Shannon, the actor, was watching that last night.
So you have a lot of bruises,
Uh-huh.
and possibly even like a couple of sprains or a light break, right?
Right.
Because you pachinkoed down
They
the
kind of
garbage chute.
thumped me down the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think is the Yelp review that Nomi gave of your encounter with her.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, okay.
I don't know, man. But if I was on an OkCupid date and their response was to throw me in the garbage with no cushion, I'm not going to take that as a 5-star.
Fair enough. Am I cognizant of the? Well, I'm not
No.
aware of who threw
No,
it
you would
in
have
me.
no. All you would know is that you're really bruised. And you might have had conversations like, I wonder why
I'm
didn't
so
have cushions."
bruised and nobody.
Yep. Like maybe they ran out of cushions.
Yeah. Well, so Navon is like, so dealing with that, I guess. Also, like the last thing that happened before we got hijacked was it was revealed to be that my extra kind of OP powers were not my own. And so I'm kind of like trying to figure out if I can get that juice back without having somebody else occupying me at the same time. So it's sort of like study, a lot of like sort of secretive trial and error of like trying to like blow shit up,
So I'll go back to you once I've touched everyone at least once.
Okay.
I gotta watch my phrasing. Once I've touched everyone, I'll go back to you.
I was just gonna say, once I've touched everyone at least.
Phrasing.
New choice, new way to do that.
I'm a teacher. You got to be really fucking careful. Torg. So being thrown down a garbage chute was not. It's the least of everyone. It was the least problem for Torg.
It was
Well,
like a roller coaster for Torg.
Yeah, I think if the
It's a
David
thrill
Fincher-
ride.
Yeah, the David Fincher camera would follow Torg, and it would almost be like, I think Torg would still be asleep. So, you imagine Torg's in pretty good shape? Like, what is Torg up to? Do you think?
Yeah, I definitely feel like Torg is probably like you said. Really, all Torg had was like a pretty bad headache, hangover for like a day, and so now is pretty much fine physically. There's really nothing wrong with them. The one thing I do want to ask, though, the most important thing is not the status of Torg, but the status of Baby Rip. Because Torg would need to know that, so I need to know what that is.
No sign.
And that. Shut your mouth. Oh, that's awful. I hate that. No. Boo. Okay, in that case, Torg is a wreck.
Torg's in a mood.
Torg is beyond in a mood. Torg is desperately, desperately sad, and Baby Rip was their child. That was their child.
So your guess is, and talking to other people here, Rip probably went back home, which would be the Shire. So the problem is, you would have to think if you're going to risk showing up there to get Rip back.
Right. Yeah. So Torg is definitely, I guarantee you, Torg is trying to figure out a way to get Baby Rip back to them, like 100%. Like pretty much anyone that comes to the bar, if they're familiar with the Shire or they've been to the Shire or they can come and go from the Shire, Torg has been like, Torg want to know, have you seen Rip? Do you see small, cute, terrifying thing? And, basically trying every single person that Torg comes in contact with to get them to like, come bring their child back to them.
So I think part of Hammer's job as your friend is to come over to you when that starts and like, Torg, you know I love you, but you gotta just let them have their drink. I'm doing what I can, but they've only got a few volts to spend on Pruno. I know you're desperate, but you need to leave them alone. Look, he's peed his pants. Dude. I don't think you understand how terrifying you are.
Torg will be much nicer about in future. Torg promise. Torg cannot stop asking because Torg.
Can I ask for
Torg
you?
being baby.
Can I ask for you? I'm a little less Torgy than you are.
Torg think that might be insult on Torg. But
you make a living making people give up their weapons by giving them the Torg look.
Fair, Torg say fair. Torg say that very, very fair comment.
And look
okay, maybe Torg been acting very, very emotional. Maybe Torg not thinking with correct Torg brain. So Torg think yes, as long as you promise Torg that you ask everyone.
All right, I understand.
You no need to press. Torg will be cool about that. They say no, Torg believe. Sure.
I mean, Whiskers isn't gonna like it, but I understand it's a mom thing.
Torg also extra muscle here. Torg here to obvious back up and help whenever problem happen at bar. So really, Torg not getting payment for that. So really, it's the even give take thing.
Right, but if we don't have customers, there won't be brawls for us to stop.
Torg not say you turn them away. Torg
here.
Torg just ask you.
Have some of this. I made it with orange juice and bits of things you don't want me to tell you. You can strip.
Torg suspicious, but Torg say okay.
It's the best I can do. We're not paying.
Torg have idea. What if Torg put up posters of Baby Rip that say, see Torg if you know Baby Rip at Shire, and then have to question people.
Put monster posters all over the bar. That's gonna go over real well with the cat.
What if it's just one monster poster at front of bar in window, just one, and then even ask them, you just point at it, and then if they go mar, then you leave them be. But if they look question, you bring to Torg.
Can you draw the creature?
I can.
Oh, that made Torg so happy. Torg good at many things. Art is not one of them.
Whisker is going to be so glad he clocked in today. All right. Well, yeah, maybe draw the creature, and I'll see about posting it.
Okay.
Nevad. So the thing that you and Gordon for a while thought was an extension of yourself, you learned was actually you had been seeded by the satyr. And he's been growing in the darker parts of you.
Yes.
And he had emerged. So he's not there anymore. Like during the final battle, he came out and went, guess what? I'm Brainiac 5. And he was out of it. So there is now this, it's kind of like he built a layer in the dark places in your soul and isn't in there anymore.
Right.
So you do feel the absence of that.
Okay. Right.
Do you connect with that in any way?
Yeah, I want to kind of go walk around in this vault. I keep going back to Naruto, man. It's like I got that nine-tailed fox vault inside of me, but it's empty.
So give me a 6-die roll, please.
6-die roll. Okay. Our first clickety-clack of the evening.
Clickety-clacks.
With real physical custom nuked dice for
if
all
I
the
get
audience.
the cost down, we'll make those available to players and fans of the game because they're
okay.
fun.
So question: is the rad symbol? Wait, we've got the
The
symbols.
rad is the 6, the bomb is the 1.
Okay, the bomb with it nuked is a 1. Then I got 3 6s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I nailed it, baby.
So you turn your inner eye in on itself,
Okay.
and you end up finding that echo of yourself that you presumed was there is
Okay.
there if you go looking for it.
Okay.
But you're very aware that if you want that back, it won't be the satyr, but you'll be intentionally teasing it out of yourself and making yourself a darker caster.
Ah, okay.
So is that something you're spending your time doing? Are you, again, everyone's emo this episode.
So I think here's the I'm not gonna try to make Erik mad with this, but like this is the equivalent, since we've already put it in, like there's a vault. It's we've already put it in real estate metaphors.
Sure.
I am going on Zillow to look at houses, but I don't necessarily.
Let's not do this, shall we?
Okay, sorry, brother. But it's more to be like what's out there. Not, I'm not making a bid. I'm sorry, Mike. Austin, for those not in Austin, our real estate market sucks. So that's all I'm going to say. But he's kicking the tires on this place. He's looking at the masonry, but he's not moving a cot down there.
So, Goldwater, you can try to pay somebody to go to the Shire and pick up your shit. Like, some of it will have been gone because it would have been taken when you were captured, but some of your stuff is in your room.
Well, most of my files would be in the room.
Yeah. So are you looking for someone to throw some money at to have them do an errand?
Yeah, I mean, that seems like my only choice right now.
All right. So about 3 days into this, and the Ninth Life is not super busy. It's a place that people have clandestine meetings. That's not how you pronounce that, but a lot of people mispronounce it. So it's been pretty quiet. And on the late afternoon of the third day, you hear, I'm trying to figure out what this sounds like if you don't know what it is. So for the players, it is a stealth helicopter. So they make a very peculiar, like, kind of noise, which is about a third as quiet as a helicopter that has the full-blown engine. I think they do it with like counter rotation and shit. An area of engineering and science I don't know particularly well, but science fiction, there's probably a Gimatron wobble in there somewhere. So you all hear that sound, and at least some of you head out, and I'm going to say that Erik is on the roof and sees this. There is a late model military helicopter landing, and it is painted.
Impressively landing or like jankily landing?
Whoever's piloting it is competent, so impressive. And the fact that it's fully operational and is effectively silenced is, you've not seen one of these maybe ever. So you've probably maybe seen a drawing somewhere, like maybe at the military station, but there aren't a lot of these flying around.
So you know what Erik's first instinct is going to be, right?
Shoot it.
Yeah.
So what I would do with that cinematically is I think we see it land through your scope, right? Because that's the shot I'd want if I was directing it. Is we
can I see who I'm looking at through the scope? Like, can I see the pilot?
Yes. Did your character? I don't think you met Lita, did you?
No.
So there is I think the phrase handsome woman, sharply dressed, two people in very similar suits. There's her, and then there's a guy that kind of looks like who's the wrestler that's playing the Peacemaker?
John Cena.
So picture like John Cena in a suit that's 2 sizes too small.
Easily done.
The
That's all he ever wears.
Yeah.
And has like mirror shades, like late 80s style mirror shades. And whatever the suit's made of is similar to the one the young woman's wearing. So they kind of look like they're from the same organization. And again, they look unusually sharp, and neither one, they don't got shit on them. Like there's not a lot of like obvious mutation or corruption or dirt or anything. And it is landing, and it's clear it's landing so that it's obvious it's doing it, right? Like they're not trying to sneak up on anything, so if it's an attack, they've given up advantage because it looks like there is a gun on that thing. So if they were going to attack,
They would
landing
have.
is effectively stupid.
So how far away would they be?
About 4 Nissans.
Okay. So I suspect that like Nissan Rogues or Nissan Sentras.
Centris. The standard.
Okay.
The standard is Centris.
The sedan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Rogues is European.
for whatever reason, Erik is more intrigued at this moment than he normally would be and decides not to scope out immediately.
So we see through the scope, and then we see Karen go back up.
No, I'm going to leave it trained on them
Okay.
and wait for them to get out and then yell at them from far away. That's why I was trying to figure out whether or not they could hear me.
The propeller, there's 2 of them, and they do a thing where they go to the sides and back when it lands and get out of the way. And there is a door that opens on the side and comes down flat and becomes a walkway.
Is it
And
like a DeLorean?
Almost, but I know that there are a couple of ATVs that have doors that work just like that, but it's a little higher. So DeLorean is not completely wrong. The 2 people that were in the cockpit leave, so they're probably coming out.
Okay. Hey,
Can I see anyone other than Erik when I'm
So,
exiting?
Going back to the car, inside the plane. In the plane, in the helicopter, are Lita and Professor Pickles. You have been sent by the committee, along with the gentleman, the John Cena looking dude is named Timpano. And he is actually an aide for General Puri. General Puri is the military leader of the committee.
Love it.
And
What was his name?
Timpano?
Timpano. Okay.
Like a timpani drum.
Like drum. Yeah.
No, his friends call him Big Night.
Big knife.
Big Night.
Big night.
Big night.
Okay, so-
Okay.
I'm trusting Barrett to get to the reference.
Okay.
It's a very nerdy independent movie reference. All right. So you don't get along with Timpano only in that he doesn't talk much at all.
Ah.
So in the time you played the character, which has not been a long time so far, but the impression I get is that you are efficient, but at least a little sociable, right? You're a
Yes.
social person.
Mm-hmm.
Timpano is an aide to the general. So you'll be like, where'd you get the suit? It's almost as nice as mine, or whatever. And he'll be like, that's true. It is.
She's like, you're really not giving me much to work off of here. Thank you, though.
Gives him nothing. There's no oxygen coming off Timpano. And you have not actually interacted with Puri because Puri is in an armored cat box. So generally it's carried around. There's a speaker on the side of the cat box. Puri is an older cat and doesn't come out of the box unless Timpano thinks it's very safe.
Okay.
Okay.
Lita's gonna, I'm assuming in those occasions she's turned to Pickles and been like, do you feel like you need one of those? Or
No. Oh,
No. Okay.
No,
I'll
no,
try to
no,
get
no.
you one if you really
Oh
want one.
no,
but-
no, 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 no. It's weird. even for us.
Yeah. Seems
in answer to your
seems
question,
excessive.
I'm going to say that D is probably still asleep and has not been woken up yet.
Okay.
Goldwater is actually in the bar.
Okay.
Has not come out yet, but is beginning to hear that there's a commotion. It's probably going to be coming out. It's very clear Erik is right there.
Okay.
And I would say Torg would have been working the door with Hammer.
Okay.
So the first people you would see would be Torg and Erik, shortly, very quickly followed by Nevad and Goldwater.
Okay.
So let's, just in case we have people who have not heard any of these people's descriptions, let's start with a description for Lita, please.
So I think you've already described Lita beautifully as a handsome woman. She is tall, well built, but not excessively muscular, not excessively thin. She has fiery red hair. I'm assuming she hasn't changed since the last time we saw her.
Except for the metallic flecks in the lips and around the eyes.
Okay.
That has not changed.
Those are slightly new additions, but yes, slight metallic flex. But beyond
more on that.
Yeah, I figured there might be something about her that might be different that I might not know.
Let me do a quick aside before you finish the description that you do need to know this. Your reflexes seem to have sped up a little bit.
Okay.
Like your reaction time is quicker. I don't remember if the mad doctor promised you that. I think she did, but she apparently was not lying. Because your synaptic shit is right. It's absolutely on point these days. On the other hand, your dreams are real weird.
Oh boy. Okay.
All the extra neuron firing is still happening when you're sleeping.
Got it.
So
okay.
you get real crazy Peter Max, like high on like a bunch of coke kind of dreams.
Nice. So just from first glance, aside from the additional kind of metallic shimmers, she pretty much looks like a pre-gen still, just generally very well put together, very well dressed. Doesn't look like someone who's seen a lot of dirt and grime, but that might belie her actual experiences. So that's Lita.
2 points for the use of belie.
Thank you.
Professor Pickles, I think let's not bury the lead. Let's start with you're a cat.
Yeah, let's start with that. Straight up, just unassuming in most cases, unassuming, typical black cat. At first glance, you would probably just be like, well, that's an animal of some kind, and then wander away. But aside from that, we already had a brief, description, mild telekinetic abilities and a short-range telepathy, just used on the regular.
Are you patting alongside Lita, or are you on Lita's shoulder or something?
I'm patting alongside Lita.
Because you can also do the trick where you pick yourself up by your scruff, but that doesn't seem necessary here.
We're very chill at the moment, so just kind of patting around at the moment.
So Erik, what do you look like?
So Erik is I've done this description 100 times. Erik is short, but not like uncommonly short, not like dwarfish, but very short. With barrel chest and a lot of hair. Long arms, very long arms, like primate long. Also, he's green. That'd probably be the first thing you'd notice about him because he is a goblin. That or the eye patch that covers his third eye, which he has to keep over his third eye to keep things in 3D and be able to aim his gun. And then he's always wearing some sort of resplendent, what he considers to be mod clothing, but the time frame has compressed.
Right.
So it could be anywhere from like 1955 to 2010 could be mod to him because he has no actual idea. Also, he carries all the time and is legitimately married to his gun, Karen. And that's him.
So I'm going to make a deal with the core cast. in answer to Mike's mention of I've done it 100 times. You know the Marvel comics from the 70s, late 70s, that would have, Tony Stark, whose heart was wounded, developed a suit. You can come up with a paragraph. I will commission art, and you can read the paragraph, and we'll throw up the art when you describe yourself, and make it into a thing that will resolve quickly and consistently. All right. So also, Torg, you are working the door. What does Torg look like?
Yes. Torg is a very, very tall and large, about little over 7 feet tall. So very, very tall. And very, very triangular shaped in that, like, the chest and the arms and all this, very, very barrelly chested. But then the waist and the hips and all of that is relatively small compared to the rest of them. Like, not small, but like comparative, to the massiveness of the arms and the top. Smaller, think this. Wonderful shining green skin, a naturally rainbowed braid that they did not have to dye themselves, because thanks to the insane toxic atmosphere, it has permanently dyed their braid rainbow colors, like oil slicks, when there's like an oil spill and you see all the phosphorescent, that kind of effect is happening on their head there. Super tiny ears for their very big head. Very cute little ears. And that's pretty much, those are, wears a lot of, old vintage leather from the 80s that they find around, and has trophies adorning their jacket from their previous kills.
So Lita, you and Pickles exit the helicopter. Timpano and the general in the cat carrier are next to you. Timpano says, we're going to need a place to set her down.
Yeah, we can do that. And at this point, can I see Erik pointing a sniper?
Hey.
Okay. That's really not necessary.
Let's have a conversation about that first before we decide what's necessary.
Okay. She will then, you said you're a goblin. I would recognize just from on site. Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't not recognize.
In Kudge, then can I speak in Kudge and just say,
absolutely. I don't know that Erik speaks it.
I do not.
Perfect. So she'll start speaking in Kudge and say, I'm really don't think that having a weapon out right now is worth your time. We parked in full view of everyone. We clearly mean no harm. Oh, I think I know him. Pointing at Goldwater over Erik's shoulder.
Goldwater and Navad come up.
I see. Okay, so she's pointing and she goes, okay.
So he gets the okay. There's a lot of like that happens, yes. Right?
In case someone's listening who doesn't know what Kudge is an invented language that some of the people who are now identified as goblins, they've decided to create a culture who wasn't one, and they decided to lean into like fantasy. We're goblins now. So they made up like Esperanto, like we're going to speak goblins. They made up a goblin language, and Erik doesn't speak it, but Lita does.
No, but Erik is amused that you tried. It's like if you go to France and you attempt to speak French, right? Then they're so much nicer to you than they would be if you don't. So like he drops the gun and goes, "Okay,
all right." And she's gonna go, "Thank you," and kind of look at Goldwater and Navad, and just particularly at Navad, just go, "You look terrible. What happened?"
So brief physical description of Goldwater, please.
Goldwater looks generally like regular old white male human being, but actually has a couple mutations. Forked tongue and sensitive to direct sunlight, but we've expanded that to some more detriments. Wearing a patched up but obviously beat up suit with a it fell off, so that's appropriate. Department of Treasury Special Agent badge or patch on it. And is right now looks worse for wear, has a fedora on his head and his hands wrapped up in gauze, just in case he would have to come outside. Outside of that, he just kind of looks like a mix between Tom Jane and the dude who played Agent Coulson. So from some angles, very handsome, but from other ones, a little weird.
Clark Gregg.
Clark Gregg, thank you. I always forget his name. And as usual, does not have much of an expression on his face.
Navad?
Yeah, so Lord Navad is a very rare being in the Wastelands. He's a wizard, and he kind of takes it a little too seriously. So he has like a little homemade, it's not homemade. It's like obviously like maybe from a costume shop or some sort of like cheapo thing that he came across. It's a wizard's cowl that he's got, and it's like robes, but he wears a denim jacket over that. He's about what did we settle on? He's probably pushing 19 at this point. When we first met him, he was like roughly 17.
It's been a year and a half since episode 1.
Yeah, so he's like pushing 19, although even he's not exactly how old he is. And he's about 6'5", very gangly, awkward looking guy with a little kind of emo comb over, jet black hair. And probably on close inspection, one of his most prominent features is that his skull, his pupils of his eyes have mutated to look like skulls. And they're not like contact lenses; they're just the actual shape of his pupils.
So is this the wizard?
Yeah, this is him. Younger than I remember. I thought he was. It's only been a couple of days, I feel like, but I remembered him being older looking.
Oh,
so in editor's note, it's been over a month.
Okay, a month. I was like, I couldn't remember how long we'd been gone. Feels like a couple days or a month or years, but it's been a while.
I'll do my normal, slightly fast-paced walk up to the crew here, and turn to Professor Pickles first and say, Professor, Lita,
Agent
Goldwater.
I look at the other two.
My name is Timpano. This is General Purry, and the cat comes forward in the cat crate, and is an older female cat whose hair has gone completely gray. Telepathically says, I have come on behalf of the committee to make you an offer.
Do you want to hear the offer, Agent Goldwater?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Timpano says, we'll need your entire team. We prefer to present it to all of you together. Do you have a place we could do that?
The bar should be sufficient. There's a back room that we can kick some people out of.
Excellent.
I'll turn and start walking back.
She's like, Lita's like, turns to Pickles and is like, it's just as awkward as I remember. Okay.
Yeah, they're not. Maybe this isn't the best idea, but hey, we're here now.
Just then, Erik swings down, arms ahoy,
Arms ahoy.
with a Karen strapped across his back, and goes, "Hey, hi, Erik," and walks into the bar.
In my mind, that's the name of your spin-off solo comic.
Hey, hi, Erik. Yeah.
Arms ahoy.
Arms
ahoy. Yeah.
Oh.
Not nearly as delicious as Chips Ahoy, but
No. But there are arms in every plate.
Oh, God.
Oh God.
So everyone heads inside. And at this point, Dee heads out from the back. You've heard the commotion. Lita and Dee catch sight of each other pretty much simultaneously. You seem to have the same infected by nanites disorder going on. It's obvious that it's the same exact symptom.
Okay.
Oh
So,
my gosh!
can I get a brief physical description of Dee, please?
Yes. So, Dee is another human-looking being. She does have some slight what are they called? Whatevers. Modifications.
Beat,
So
bigotries, regrets. Like,
no. Dee is the Wastelands version of Kimmy Schmidt. She is a precious being to be protected at all costs.
Gosh.
I have what was this called again? The nano thingy?
Bad improv phone.
Yeah, terrible improv phone. I have terrible
Hello.
improv phone.
Bad
But
improv
yeah, the terrible improv phone affects my lips, eyes, all the like little bits of skin. So I'm
let's call it chromata.
yeah.
Chromata.
I got chromata.
Love it.
Yeah. So she'd be looking spiffy and shiny. And I also have I wear like a jumpsuit, like a man, I'm losing all my words today. I wear a little jumpsuit. I always have a little bandana on. The jumpsuit is covered in drawings of things that Dee has looked up or seen along the way that are inspiring or pretty to her. So it sort of looks like a 7-year-old got a hold of her jumpsuit and drew like cutie things all over it. And it's really sweet. She also has a huge crush on Navad. They're dating, so she keeps a diary, and there are pages and pages dedicated to like things she wishes that she could get Navad that don't exist anymore.
Oh my God.
Things that she like dates that she imagines for Navad and her to go on. So
since this should be stuff we can see, can we assume you're coming out of your room with that? Isn't it? I assume it's like a Lisa Frank diary kind of thing.
Oh my
Well,
God.
it looks. I mean, it looks as ratted as the rest of the universe, so it looks pretty banged up. But she is drawn again the very like Lisa Frank equivalent of the post-apocalyptic stuff on the front. So speaking of drawings, Dee also comes up with the homework of the sign that she was supposed to create.
Oh my gosh.
So just in case, yeah, this
Okay.
is have you seen Baby Rip? If
Okay.
found, bring to Torg.
Austin-based fan contest. If anyone posts this shit around Austin and I see it, I will give you something cool.
Yay!
If I see, well, I'm gonna post a PDF of this to our blog. So if
Oh
you
my
print it,
gosh.
post that shit. Don't break any laws. But if you post it someplace legal and I see it, I will get you a Prezi.
Yay!
So the minute you see it, you text me. Let
That's
me
right,
know
yeah.
where it is.
Just put
Have to
Jen's
tell
phone number on it.
Total rip tabs. Have you seen this baby?
Oh my
yeah.
gosh!
Do not
I
approach.
love it.
With like socials of
Yeah, we gotta put this socially.
Do not approach. Very dangerous.
oh my gosh.
I love
good.
it.
That's so cute.
So
Danielle, that was amazing.
Incredible.
That's so amazing. And
Such
I
the
mean,
cat box.
on that note, Torg themselves, of course, starts crying and grabs Dee and says, Dee, Torg fave, Torg love, Dee help, Torg. Torg say thank you.
I always
and
picture
then
Torg anime crying with the two.
Just gushing tears.
Yes. I'll work on that next. While Torg is squeezing the life out of me, I am desperately just like, you're welcome. I love you too. Please put me down. I am so tired and so small.
Torg, so sorry. Torg just get very emotional. Torg. And then Torg just starts like trying to gently just pat them and
I'm
just be
gonna
like,
assume that Goldwater and Timpano fall to type and start basically readying an Ersatz conference room, kind of wordlessly, like pulling tables over, and
Yeah.
he'd shoot you a look like either the nod.
Yeah. Somebody's got to do it.
And apparently it's the two of you.
Yep.
He is almost as strong as Torg, it seems like. Like he is lifting the furniture with casual ease.
okay.
He is a big meaty boy, this guy. And he sets the cat carrier on the table. So the entire group gets into the back room. Hammer says to Torg, the big guy just tipped me with a gold coin. I'm going to clear the room. You have the bar for the evening. So if you need anything, just come get me, okay?
Torg say this sounds great. If big guy have gold, then maybe they help Torg too, and Torg make new friends and new family. Thank you, Hammer. Torg really appreciate Hammer. Torg gonna cry again.
Hey Mike, what's the name of the stuff that was like the Jenkum?
Well, Jenkum is the main thing, but
No, but in the bar, remember that the first Wasteland Tales, the stuff that makes you blind when you drink it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember off the.
That's
I
the
have it
stuff
somewhere
that
in my
Torg
notes.
can just like, that I was just like shooting
Yeah,
back,
you can
right?
reach it. It's down in gourds.
Okay.
Carefully. Yeah, you can get some of that up. And Dixon, who runs the place, is a young man wearing a black bodysuit, and I picture him as looking like he's going to be rehearsing for Fosse, like at any moment. And he's got like little cat ears, and is a lovely fellow who looks like, and when you get to know him, is always just getting out of a bad relationship, like forever and ever and ever. And he has also been tipped a gold coin and is going to make sure you have drinks and make sure you have whatever you need. And by gold coin, by the way, I don't mean D&D, like we pounded stuff and poured coins. I mean like US Mint, like collector, like paranoid, the economy's going to collapse, people bought these. So it's literally like a coin. Still worth quite a bit in terms of votes. So all of these wonderful people are gathered at the table, along with Big Grumpy Tom Cena and General Purry. And
Has General Purry been let out of the cat cage?
at this point, Timpano's going to open the door, and the cat will come out of the cat carrier.
And for those who didn't meet Pickles last time, we've all kind of grokked that the cats communicate telepathically with us.
They
It comes across as a spoken voice, right?
No, it's telepathic, and it's totally telepathic.
In your mind.
It'll be
Right.
weird. And it's not necessarily sunk into everyone yet. But the minute Whiskers, who has to telepathically do the equivalent of human projecting your voice.
Mm-hmm.
So you know from experience, Pickles, like you're bad at conducting meetings like this because you're not as powerful a telepath as the general is. So you tend to talk to 1, 2, or 3 people at a time.
Gotcha.
The older, more experienced general can actually kind of telepathically yell, and everyone can hear them. But you'll hear telepathically, which you haven't experienced. It is a very strange thing.
Yes.
The cat says, and the telepathic voice sounds in my mind like General Leah. So I picture Carrie at age like what is it, 50 or 60, like that.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of the crackle in the voice, but definitely authority. Like the telepathic voice, I think, from the cat sounds like that. Hello and welcome. Thank you for speaking with me. If you wish to answer, you can speak out loud. I'll understand. I'll respond this way. I can also use a synthesized voice from a system within the cat box, but I generally only use that when telepathy is a bad idea.
Anybody else hearing this cat talk?
It's so cute.
Torg so relieved. Torg really, really worried. Brains just crack.
Yeah, me too.
The general shoots a look to the professor when someone says, "Oh, they're so cute." Like, here this goes. Like,
I'm not trying to be patronizing. That's the only physical comment I'll ever make, I swear.
Professor Pickles, my confederate here, and I work for an organization called the Committee. The Committee is comprised of 6 influential Ultra Cats. I can see from your reactions that some of you have yet to encounter Ultra Cats. We are a species that was genetically engineered to surpass your mental faculties. And the best of us have formed this committee. Our purpose is simple. We wish to find the most effective way to bring society back. We've gone over the brink. Society is broken, and now it is it's returning, but it's returning through free growth, like a moss or a fungus or weeds. And we believe that a certain amount of shepherding and guidance can create a better society for everyone. So we understand through Lita here that your team has been operating in this area for some time now and has been fighting several rather dire threats to the people of this area. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
So the reason we're speaking with you is we had sponsored something called the World Dome. So
We've been there.
well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but before the fall, the World Dome was a museum. After the fall, it attracted techno fetishists who wished to advance ultra tech in often reckless ways, and turns and looks pointedly at Lita. The camera would catch like a reflection in her shiny silver lips. The committee made the mistake. Instead of beginning an experiment with a newborn settlement or a settlement with no built-in ethos, we lent our support to these scientists, believing, perhaps arrogantly, that their belief in science would make them understand our mission better. Unfortunately, and I think some of you are aware of this, their recklessness proved unethical and immoral. So the dome, we have broken with the dome. We consider them to have pawn. It is very likely that they are working with the angels now. Some sort of deal has taken place. And we have seen a rocket leave the dome, which we believe is loaded with the same kind of materials that the angels have been mining from us. So the committee is left with a purpose and no functioning experiment. We wish to start another settlement, begin to work on another set of tests in reestablishing a functioning society in the current state of the world. We come to you because we believe you are nearly ideally suited to protect such a newborn settlement. It's a role you seem to have almost unintentionally taken on yourselves many times over the past year. This would be more formalized in that you would certainly be free to pursue your own interests, but the safety of the settlement would be your concern. In exchange, we would obviously be providing you with a place to become a new base of operations, which, judging by the fact that you're living above a dive bar, is probably something that you're in search of right now. We can also lend considerable resources to establishing this settlement. You don't need to run it merely to protect it. So in broad strokes, are you interested?
In broad strokes, I am. Details might get a little difficult with me. As my friends know, I have a very specific mission, but having a safe base of operations has worked to my advantage before.
Torg always happy to protect. However, Torg, let's see. It seems to Torg that you have considerable power and reach, and Torg happy to relocate to new space. However, Torg insists that Torg be provided with someone that can help Torg retrieve. Torg really thought Torg could keep together.
I pat Torg's back.
Torg, thank you, D. Torg need baby Rip back in Torg life. Torg have baby Rip still stuck at Shire. Torg need baby Rip. Now, if baby Rip okay and baby Rip no longer need Torg because baby Rip strong and confident and independent, Torg okay. But Torg just need to know. Torg need to know. Torg need
the general
Torg cannot do anything else without baby Rip.
Pickles, the general reaches out telepathically, so this communication is just between the two of us. Does the large mutant have a child?
Unfortunately, the large mutant is not one I'm particularly familiar with, but I'd venture on the guess that maybe. And if so, then we're probably best to actually keep this individual appeased.
They seem very upset.
Yeah, they seem to definitely be in touch with their emotions, I believe is the common phrase.
I mean, if there is a missing child, if there's is the mutant a troll? I mean, if there's a baby troll that's been lost, we can certainly fetch it.
That maybe we press for further information on the exact whereabouts and looks of this particular child.
So all of that, when they're directly connected telepathically like that, it would be faster than we spoke it. That would be very quick. So basically the two cats shoot a meaningful look at each other. And the general says, we do have significant resources, yes. And if you are missing this Rip, we will do what we can to find them. And we do have considerable reach and resources, but not to put too fine a point on it, we are cats. So there are things that we are not ideally suited to do.
That's what I'm here for.
Torg understands. Torg also. Torg very grateful, but Torg should also be honest about baby Rip. Now Torg feel baby Rip is most adorable, cutest, sweetest thing. But Torg understand that most people have let's say prejudice against baby Rip because baby Rip might be a baby ripper. Just, and by might be is a baby ripper. But
The
Torg,
gray cat pads up to you and says, do you mind if I read your surface thoughts? I want to see what this rip looks like.
oh, Torg, say yes. Torg, absolute. Torg just want you to know that baby Rip was orphan and Torg help birth baby Rip, and so baby Rip very different than regular Rips.
So the cat looks at Torg, the camera zooms in on Torg, then zooms in on the cat face, then in on Torg, then in on the cat face, and then Professor Pickles hears, "Oh God!" Can you flash the Ripper picture again, Colt?
Oh yeah.
So picture that, but the image in Torg's mind would be a super deformed version of that. So it'd be adorable. We'll probably have a bow, big eyes, so it wouldn't look quite like that. But I think maybe
it's like the pop,
the
pop version, like the Funko Pop version.
Funko Pop Ripper.
He goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danielle's absolutely right. But I think that's actually worse.
Disagree.
The cat steps back. All right. Timpano, I might have an errand for you. All right.
Hey, while you're there, in the place, checking on the baby, there is one other thing maybe you could help us with. Have you ever eaten churros?
Is that like a duck?
No, it is much better than a duck. It's like a pillow that tastes like sugar and the earth at the same time. And there's a machine that makes it. And if you could see your way clear to retrieving our churro machine, well, that'd be just about 80% of home right there.
So you have a lost adopted child and a snack machine.
Mm-hmm.
A churro machine.
A churro machine.
There are other snacks.
I will admit, I came prepared for requests for particle cannons. Churro machine and baby monster were not at the top.
Torg object to use of monster. Baby Rip, not monster. Baby Rip. Torg light.
I also have some official government files that I need, and some electronics that were left at the Shire.
Does the cat equivalent of rubbing the which I can't quite
Just
imagine
like
what
pause it just paws
Yeah.
its face repeatedly.
Just fine. Oh my gosh.
So it sounds like if we can take the equivalent of a moving truck to your old settlement and go collect your things.
Yes, that sounds perfect. I think you nailed it.
Oh yes, and Torg. One more thing, Torg must say. Torg again emphasized that baby Rip, in general, harmless. However, baby Rip has loyalties to family and to Torg. But since baby Rip no speak English, hold on. And then Torg takes their nails, which are very, 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 very sharp,
Right.
and then reaches up and cuts out a chunk of their braid and then hands it, and being like, this way baby Rip will know that they are to go with you because you are with Torg. You are with mom.
A Ziploc bag from his jacket and reaches forward and opens the bag. It'll preserve the odor. Zip.
Torg say yay, and then Torg just drops it in.
Not to add too much to the grocery list of things we need, but I'm in dire straits for some extra parts for my buddy Jeepers. It'd be really cool if you found any AI parts or anything that I could use to hold him and bring him back. That'd be so cool.
AI parts.
Mhm.
The general looks over at Pickles, and again they get the one-on-one communication. Is this a real thing, or is this an imaginary friend?
I'm honestly likely to believe it's a real thing at this point with this group of individuals. You'd be surprised at how charismatic and charming they can be after, a couple days with them. I assure you, this is the best solution. We should definitely be doing this and take them quite seriously.
You're gonna need to have a talk with Lita because she recommended them.
Can you hold a moment before saying anything else? I'd like to interject with someone before we continue on with these negotiations.
Absolutely.
Pickles then turn. Oh, Shannon, I hope you're ready for this.
I knew you were coming my way. All right, let's go.
Pickles turns to Navad and starts a one-on-one telepathic communication. I'm going to ask you very politely. Please do not ask for anything else. I understand that we're asking a lot of you, but the general is a little old and maybe misunderstands some things sometimes. So let's leave the requests as they are for now. What with the essentially moving homes and getting a truck and getting your things, please don't ask for a couch. Just keep things simple.
I'm good. I'm good. I don't have anything. I mean, the only thing that I have that's of value is this, and I hold up my grimoire, which I had on me already. I'm good. I don't need anything. They have all the other stuff.
Who are you talking to?
Sorry, guys. And then I do this. Dude, can I communicate with
Why did you show us your book? I know you own that book. Those are the only things of value that you have.
Give me a 5-die roll to see if you can figure that out.
Me?
Yeah. Normally you need to talk out loud and they pick it up.
Right. Okay.
But you're a magician. So
I got 2 6s and a 5, baby.
So
Dang.
I'm good with the brain powers.
Communicate on your own, but you can start the conversation with the cat.
Okay. So look, I have everything I need now that Goldwater called me out. I wasn't going to ask for anything else. How fast do we have to move into this settlement, though? Why can't we just go get our stuff?
It's better for us to handle the actual moving because we're going to need you all to start acting on this quickly because we just need you in place in case anything goes wrong.
So I got to be honest with you, Pickles. I thought for a second that when General Purry came and was said that there was an offer, I thought we were going to be the community. Like we were going to be the people that they wanted to build society around. That's apparently not true. We're only guarding them. But where did you find these people? And like, what if we don't like them?
How about I have the general explain the rest?
I want to throw in a minor point here that's a callback. In your grimoire, there is also the plastic wand, which was the gift from Beat.
Oh, that's right.
With the little sound effect wand.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
From I forget the name of the series, but it was the trans magician. What was her name? It was Wendy Wand, I think, something like that.
Wendy Wand?
Yeah, I'll look it up, but it was a kids series.
Comics?
No, it was literally a slam on Harry Potter. It was a very kind of the opposite of what it's turned into. But one of the gifts from the period where you found these presents of the Christmas episode
Right.
was there was a plastic toy wand from that series.
Okay.
So as far as precious items, and I can see you using it as a bookmark.
Yeah, it's more of like a bookmark at this point. Yeah.
All right. So the cat continues. So it sounds like against the broad strokes, we're assuming I can arrange, which I can, to withdraw your necessary things through previous settlement. We can move forward. So we have some options, and I would like your insight and possibly some scouting work done about where the settlement would be, because it would certainly not be here. Also, if there's anything that any of you feel strongly should be a part of society as it's reestablished, this would be. Sorry?
Taxation, a collection of taxes, and then a disbursement of those taxes to those in the most need, and a public works projects.
The cat raises the cat eyebrow and says, for a while we were in talks with various factions of New America, which is a loose confederation of different special interest groups. They sometimes call themselves the American Dream, or sometimes the Dream. The committee, considering we were brought to where we are partially because of the failure of the corporate states of America, we have concerns about reinstituting capitalism at this stage.
I would hazard to say that this is not capitalism. Taxation and then the redistribution of wealth to those in need is not inherently capitalist action. Taxes, government systems going back as far as the old empires.
So municipal services funded in some other way, simply through taxation, but not through capitalism.
That'd be ideal.
Our model, frankly, is democratic socialist.
I am very familiar, and this does work 100% with that.
We consider things such as the mail be absolutely crucial. We need to reinstitute communication. Otherwise, there is no society because everyone is separated. The cat raises its little paws.
Lita's just sitting there with her eyes closed, just breathing in very rhythmic patterns, trying to remain calm.
And Torg goes, Torg believe Goldwater might cry.
This mail system, a fully funded delivery system of people's property and messages to one another and official government notices. What about firefighting or road service? Maybe some sort of layered policing, the appropriate response to the problem.
The cat does something you've seen Mr. Whiskers do. It can actually stand on its back legs. I forget the anime series, but there's one where the cats all walk around like this. Ultra cats can do that.
Yeah.
And it walks up and gives Goldwater a cat hug. And says mentally, with a telepathic sound that sounds like a whisper, "You've seen my notes." And it pulls back and drops back onto all fours.
All this one-on-one cat telepathy. Erik is just sitting in the corner with his bottle of Jenkum, looking at it like, what the fuck is going on? I just wanted a churro.
And then Torg, seeing how emotional Goldwater is, Torg unwraps their bee rainbow scarf and hands it to Goldwater to use to sop up his teary face.
Well, apparently we have strong allies here and are compatible in our outlook. So, Colt, let's go ahead and share that map, but also if you can get it to the chat, the outward facing chat if you can, so that other folks can look. So this is a little hard. And can you feed it to this group's chat? Just dump it in the Zoom chat so the players can see it. Okay, beautiful.
Okay, cool.
So this is a revised map of Central Texan. Texan is the corporate state, which is the southern Midwest. And this is what it was before the downfall of the corporate states of America. This is only about a fifth of the total area of the region. The region's actually pretty big. You can see where the Shire is. There are also 4 circled regions on the map, or should be. Unless I've given you the wrong map, which would be terrible. That's the wrong map, Colt.
Hooray!
So, all right. So this is okay. So I see the Shire. So okay. So this is an old map. So
now we can quickly update this shit. It should say Texan map S2, sir.
So while he's doing that, I love this notion that what Erik was saying, like from the outside world, this meeting must have looked like a bunch of crazy people. Like,
oh yeah,
people periodically just like blabbering, and then cats looking at them, and then talking, and then a hug from a cat, and some weeping.
That was very sweet.
But yeah,
there's a reason the episode is called Cats.
yeah. Well, it makes sense.
All right, so this is about to be the bio break anyway. Oh yeah, awesome. So there'll be a map up shortly, and then they're going to talk about what the options are, and you are going to go on a scouting mission to one or more of them. But we're going to stop with a 5-minute mid-session break.
Sweet.
So Colt, when that's your leisure, sir.
Perfect.
Is going to put that map in the Zoom chat here, and we're going to try to find it to the chat for any audience we have so they can play along. And we'll be back in 5.
Okay.
Welcome back. So a physical version of the digital map that we've put in chat, and can we now display that in the video feed just in case somebody watching? Want them to be too close to the border with the area that the warlord has taken over, or too close to where the angels are in they're not in Houston, they're in Dallas, yeah. So to the north. So those are all at least a day or so away from there. So you would need to use that settlement as our settlement. We'd have to negotiate with the current mayor, a pangolin beastie named Mr. Bruce. There's also a concealed underground military storage bunker. So we have the map again, and you had three of them visible when you had it up before, Colt. You haven't set eyes on it or have any sense of what state it's in, but if anything can survive in the desolation, that building would. And the fourth location, which is a little triangle cult, it'll be the one on the top right, is so our question to you is, if any of these seems suitable, we can have you go set eyes on them and get a sense of which would make the best choice. Considering you'll have to defend it, we would defer to your judgment. We have, for your use in this, and the big guy picks up a little clicker and he clicks it, and you hear outside a truck pull up. You look out the window and it is a Tech Goobers repair truck. The Tech Goobers was a whole chain. They would come in and they'd put your Cat5 cable in, or put in a new wireless card. So it's the general says the repair truck's been reinforced. There are gun ports on both sides with sliders, and it's been refitted to run off biofuel. It doesn't run great because very few things run very well on biofuel, but it's better than trying to run it off gasoline. Unfortunately, we couldn't get solar, but this will give you range you didn't have. So how do you feel about the options?
I have thoughts.
So do I.
So hey, just a heads up. This is Shannon, the actor, commenting.
What?
Yeah, well, apparently when the map was pulled up, the chat didn't get audio. So I want to just real quick go over the 4 options.
So why don't you do it as character dialogue and just regurgitate what I just
sounds
said
good.
as your dialogue?
That sounds
So
good.
about the haunted church, right? Like that.
Yeah.
I'll fix it. Nevada's explaining this to Dee in language she can understand.
Okay. Personally, just given my own sense of stuff, I like the haunted church because that doesn't scare me at all. Like I've been haunted by dead people and all kinds of whack stuff, and like I'll be fine at a haunted church, but that might not be for everybody. I know that the desolation, right? If we go out to the desolation, that's not great for Goldwater. It'll probably jack up his skin, and he hated when we went there because that's also where your sister died. And
True.
Sorry, not to be callous.
Just facts.
We'd all probably get real sick if we went down towards Houston, which is where the military bunker is with all of the radiation. Erik would be fine, but everybody else might feel a little sick.
So our feeling on that is it's not directly in the red zone.
Okay.
And it will be underground. So in the area, you might run into an unusually high number of mutated creatures. But if you take even simple precautions, like covering your skin, things like that, you'll probably be fine.
And then there was another. There was a small town that's already been started by a pangolin beast man, whose name I already forgot. But
Mr. Bruce.
Mr. Bruce.
Mr. Bruce.
Yes. You know me. I'm going to vote for the haunted church, but I don't know if anybody else.
I only see one place that has a number of advantages relative to the disadvantages, and that's the community
that's already started.
Pangolin, yes.
See, I was thinking that the wasteland had some advantages to it because it's easier to defend and people aren't likely to spend more time there.
I don't think that's a place to start a society.
Yeah.
So no agreement.
Not yet.
Have you met us?
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
This is how it usually goes for a few days, and then somebody dies.
I'll make my argument for the farm and why I like it.
Okay.
The established society has advantages and disadvantages, but I think having people who know each other, having a small infrastructure, craftsmen, folks that have abilities, maybe even some level of governance is something that we can work with. Also, it's in, as far as nearby danger zones go, the wilds are possibly the least dangerous and something that we could tame. I'm also thinking about long-term agriculture, something that we wouldn't be able to do in an underground base and would be difficult in a church and impossible in the desolation. And it would also keep us close to the only other outpost of humanity that we are friendly with.
It's true.
So that's my argument for that. It may be the most boring, but I also think it might be the most practical.
As people who are just supposed to guard the civilization and not necessarily integrate or become a part of it, shouldn't we pick something that's relatively unpopulated almost? I feel like
something that's a little bit more easily defensible, perhaps.
I feel like that would be easier on us. Plus, not to make a point for the desolation one, but it puts us a lot closer to the church in Dallas that we're trying to thwart. So it might be better to guard less so that we can actually focus our attention on the major task at hand. Plus, there's goblins out there, and that might be pretty cool for Erik.
Torg and I didn't have a particularly good time there.
Oh, okay.
He had a bad time.
Oh.
Torg does not want to cause dissent. Torg will eventually go with what everyone deems best, but Torg feel like Torg must at least speak Torg case, and Torg with Navad. Torg think haunted church great. No one else will want to go to haunted church, so we should be able to be relatively safe there. Because I can't think of, Torg has no other people that Torg can think of that would want to be at haunted church except for Torg fam. Torg also just think haunted church sound fun. And also Torg agree with D that we should pick place that is new for society and not already established. That way Torg fan will not be imposing anything on people who already have something they may not want to have. Goldwater, be taxed or have mail. We do not know what existing society may resist. So Torg just feel it'd be easier to use place that can make that society can make its own. And Torg just think haunted churches sound cool.
What if we did a ranked voting? So you don't have to debate. That your top vote gets 4 points, your second vote gets 3 points, your third vote gets 2 points, and your last vote gets 3, 2, 1, 0.
Lita's looking at Erik and going, "What are you drinking? I don't care." And she's just gonna try to take a sip of it.
Go easy on that stuff.
She's just gonna throw it back.
So give me a 4-die roll.
Okay. Oh God, this
Oh
could
my
only
God,
go. Okay.
Whether or not you die from drinking.
Okay. Actually, I had 1 6 and 2 5s, and then a 1. If that makes a difference.
So let me find.
You said 4? 4 roll?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah. A 6, 2 5s, and a 1.
All right. Oh, here I found it. Yay.
She has a fairly high endurance. I don't know if that makes a difference.
So Changa. It's probably Changa.
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 That
Yes.
was the name.
A wicked potion fermented from grains and sorghum kicked up with additives like battery acid, embalming fluid,
Oh God.
also toxic, serious business. So you drink it, and immediately the word "why" comes into your own head.
What is this?
It's just
Oh my
breathe.
God. Why
The
would you
longer
do this to
keep-
yourself?
I cannot help but do it to myself.
Oh God.
Erik's sad.
I can taste color.
That is
the-
entirely the point. Yeah.
Oh God.
So the general says, "I am hearing haunted church."
Haunted church.
Are you concerned that the humans, although we're not limited to humans, the beings that we try to attract to form this experimental society might be put off? You are, though, a wizard, yes? You could perhaps resolve things at this church?
I could maybe unhaunt it or talk to the spirits or something.
Or you
What
could
would
double
you
haunt it, which would
suggest?
be even cooler.
I don't know what the advantages are of this church. All I know is that it is a haunted church. Hardly something to build a society around. It's just a haunted location.
Have you ever read about Christianity, man?
It's branding. I
Try
think
not
it's just
to.
branding.
It is really the most us if you decide if you are going to choose a place to be.
That might be my
Torg
favorite
must
breakaway
say.
sentence. Have you ever read about Christianity, man?
Torg also quite offended that people just assume that church is haunted by bad ghosts.
It'd be good.
Not all hauntings are
I don't
bad
think
hauntings.
I don't think it's actually haunted.
So it's just a church.
So the group has encountered one being that could be considered a haunting. The creature known as Corpus.
Right.
Technically, that was a ghost.
Okay.
So, for anyone listening that doesn't know, when the bombs dropped, the collective death cry of all of the people in Corpus Christi created one massive collective scream and became an undead entity that the party encountered. And I think, wasn't Tana along on that one?
Yeah, that was Captain Tana. We were getting her boat back, and yeah.
So you have some evidence that things like that are possible.
Right. Okay, so what I'm hearing right now is at least 3 of us are saying
Haunted church.
so that's gonna
Haunted.
Haunted church.
if we do a ranked
Haunted
voting, I'm gonna
church.
lose. So we're doing the haunted church.
What they said. What they said.
Lita pushes the drink away and says, "Sure, why not?
That actually came out like, sure.
Sure, why not?"
The cat says, can we have the room, please? And indicates that the general would like to speak with Pickles and Lita and Timpano. So basically the other PCs leave the room and go out to the main bar. And there are little crunchy snacks and less lethal liquor. And the general says to those still in the room, I'm guessing you may have already supposed this, but I'm going to be really frank here. Lita, you didn't directly recommend these people, but it was your mission reports that led us here.
What was it exactly about my mission reports? Just out of curiosity.
You have a tendency to lean into flowery inflection and may have overdone it a tad now that I've met these people.
I mean, I thought I was just saying that they're hardy, they don't die very easily. I wasn't really recommending them.
So you described Goldwater as the bold unspoken reserve of a knight of old.
Well, when you see him standing on a building from high, it's
understand your reports are full of turns of phrase, just like and the cat stands up and is doing that with its paws.
Yeah, that's I always wanted to be an author, so I may have taken that into my reports. Probably should have left some of that description out. I was really just trying to get across, like, they were really tough to kill. I wasn't trying, but lots of other people were. I mean, I think I made it clear they had an excessive amount of
You used
people.
the word myrmidons.
Well,
That does sound like Lita.
that's just because I really like vocab words. I just like to, Pickles taught me a lot of languages. I learned a lot of languages.
That thesaurus away.
Yeah, I really thought it was clear they have a lot of issues, but they're hardy. They're hard to kill.
In Lita's defense, they are quite hardy.
You keep coming back to that one word.
It's just because it's the only.
Your mission report clocked in at over 5,000 of those words. They weren't all just hardy over and over again.
It was,
they have gumption.
They have gumption. That might have also been a word I used.
The committee has a new assignment for you.
Oh.
We need the two of you to remain here with them and oversee this project.
What?
Wait. is there any chance you could potentially reconsider?
Timpano would be so much better. He's so hardy, the hardiest of the hardy. I really think he'd be a much better fit. I can carry your case and escort Pickles at the same time. I think I'm a quicker shot than Timpano. So
there are stronger Ultra Cats that you could potentially send down here for, monitoring.
You wish me to register dissension to the committee?
No.
Well,
not dissent.
Not necessarily.
No.
Moriarty would not be pleased to hear anything but an enthusiastic. Our projects will only succeed. These experiments will only succeed if at least the committee and the committee's agents are of one unified will.
Yeah.
We're trying to restore society here.
Yes.
Can I pull Lita into a one-on-one real quick?
You can, but you're not entirely sure whether the general might be able to overhear it, because you have like a very limited like talking telepathy. The general seems to be a full-on telepath. Like
Oh, good.
that the general could pull images like they just did out of Torg. Apparently, the older, more powerful cats get full-on telepathy.
Can I risk? I think I'm gonna risk it.
Yeah, go
ahead. Lita,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're out of options.
Just a thought. What if Professor Pickles is so in high demand and has so many things? I could stay, and Pickles could do things of.
You volunteered. I'll add, to be an aide to an influential Ultra Cat agent.
I did.
You are not an independent human asset. You are an asset of Professor Pickles.
Yes. I just think Pickles has so many things they could. You're correct. I
advise Lita, and the general stands and telepathically yells that instead of criticizing which paintbrushes you have, you figure out which are the proper ones to use to paint your painting.
I'm not much of an artist, but I understand the metaphor and would love to be among these hardy folk for however long this requires.
General, not to ask for too much of a favor, but is there by any chance we could get some additional supplies for this venture?
I can get you some plasteel armor.
Okay,
thank you. Okay.
We're gonna need that.
Well,
oh no, I didn't mean for you. I meant for the cat.
No, that's what yes.
You're
For
awfully
Pickles.
close to where the warlord is intruding. You are likely to be fired upon.
yes, that is.
Lita, do you wish a proper cat box? We can get you an armored one with a speaker, like mine.
Erring on the side of caution, I think that might be a.
That would be
better.
a very generous gift.
I recommend that we now come out to this team who is doing a favor for us, just as we're doing favors for them, with maybe a more positive. Maybe don't look like I've just assigned you to flipping burgers.
It's not flipping burger. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's a death mission. But
well,
yeah. I'm very excited to be here.
I will, for the sake of moving forward with my assignment, I will pretend that I believe you.
I couldn't be more heartily serious about my excitement, and she's just gonna walk.
I'm ecstatic to finally see the start of a brand new civilization guarded by these incredibly capable adventurers.
no matter what happens, last word, and then we need to get them out there to deal with the church. Understand that this is your project now, Pickles.
Oh.
So it is you who will be judged for success or failure, not them. They are assets.
Fantastic. I love it.
Excellent. Understand that Moriarty and I are getting older, and there may be a place in the council.
Well, that does sound exceptionally lovely.
And there are only places for cat do's, not cat dotes.
Yes, of course. Then by all means, this will, of course, be a success.
That's what I like to hear. All right. And with that, she says, Timpano, shoulder. And he reaches down an arm, and she climbs up on the shoulder. And the two humans and the two cats come back into the main. So did the rest of you have any conversation while they had their little cat attack?
I'm going to do one last push. I'm going to point at the map and say, I want you to look at this church. And I don't want you to just look at the church. I want you to look at everything around the church. Radiation, fire, earthquakes, occult symbols, aberrations, fire, and ghouls. It's surrounded by things that can and will kill us. Is this really where you want to go just because it's going to look cool, which is really what I think you guys want?
I mean, I think you're right.
Yeah.
We should have chose the church to start with.
Right, we're going to the church then.
I imagine like Lita and Pickles walk out right as they're saying that.
Yep.
And there's just, yeah, yep.
Oh my God.
Timpano puts his hand on Lita's shoulder, gives you there's a flicker of emotion, and it seems to be sympathetic, and he hands you a pack of gum.
What is this? This is some kind of, what is this?
Yeah, if you start grinding your teeth, when I get frustrated, I grind my teeth. I find the gum helps.
I wanted to be mad at you, but that's actually pretty thoughtful.
He leans in a little bit. Yeah, this assignment I have, there's nothing to envy here. I'd rather be in the field.
I tried. Anyway, she's gonna take the gum.
He picks up the cat, and they head over to the truck. The driver is a goblin that comes out and hands the keys over to Timpano. Timpano asks, "Who's your driver?"
Lita's gonna look around. Is it me?
So I know Shannon not Shannon, because Shannon's a real person.
Yes.
God's a character.
Vaughn is actually bizarrely probably the best driver.
Probably because he spent all that time sitting next to Winona while she drove.
Taking driving lessons.
Yeah, she gave me driving lessons.
It was a plot arc for a weird reason. So he hands the keys over to the kid. Here you go.
I'm also completely useless in fights from vehicles.
Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna lean out of the window and spellcast. Yeah, it didn't work out great.
He's like, "Are you old enough?"
What? Who's gonna be the authority? Goldwater?
I mean,
right. Yes.
He has a badge, so
yes, and you have passed your driving exam multiple times.
Have
He's a fairly good driver.
Goldwater, have you issued him a license?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure.
Right. As soon as Winona said he can drive, I made him. I
stamp.
I love it.
But he only has a temporary because
it's like a permit.
Because he couldn't get a picture taken, so it's just
right. Yeah, so it's a constant temporary.
So Shannon, if you show maps, the sound kicks out. Is that what's happening?
What?
If we show maps, the sound kicks off.
That's what I heard.
I think it's fixed. It's fixed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a setting.
Colt, can you give us a little bit of a close-up on the church, please?
What could go wrong?
Oh no.
Can we see the haunting in the close-up? Will we be able to
Lord.
view the haunting?
Close up.
I-
Can we get a close up on the ghost?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
you're
curious.
very optimistic about how much time I had to make maps today.
Oh my god.
Um,
Surrounded
I
by
do
everything
just
else.
from a defense point of view, like I feel like we're well defended here.
No.
That's,
Yeah, I
that's
don't.
the
On
point
a
to
technical level,
Goldwater.
yeah, I guess.
How are you defended against an earthquake? I'm well defended against natural disasters.
I mean, we are right next to hell.
so looking at that, you're not directly in either of the earthburn zones, but they're nearby. An earthburn zone has underground fire, so it actually looks like it's pre-volcanic, like a fire shoot. It's like the fire swamp a bit,
Yeah.
and you'll have additional building collapse and things like that. There's also a red zone not far from there. The Quakeland is areas that are still plagued by regular earthquakes. There is like a way in if you come at it through hell. Looking at the map, there is a small bar called Hell, and if you follow that, there's actually a way through all of the zones to go down to Huntsville, the ruins of Huntsville, which is where the church is. So we're going to cut to the van driving in, and you're up there, Nevada. Who's got shotgun?
Is there a,
D, right? No? I would assume D would have scrambled up with a
oh,
shotgun.
yeah, probably.
I mean,
Oh.
What kind of car?
usefulness wise, though, I'm better in the back for fighting.
So there's only two, and there's little panels you can pull to shoot out from the
Okay.
sides. There's nothing in back. You have to pop the door, and this one is not
Oh.
built in. There's nothing up top yet. Over time, you can build one in, but there is not one current.
Okay, then I would probably call for a seat. Shotgun.
So everybody else is in back. There's easily enough room for everybody, and we're going to camera in as you're coming into Huntsville. So we'll do like nice drone shot going over as you're going down the shattered road, and up ahead there is a church on a hill, looking all gothic and foreboding and shit.
I bet there's ghosts in that church.
I sure hope there are. There's a
Uh,
little appeal.
Assume.
It has not been damaged by any of the terrible shit in the surrounding region. Much of Huntsville is a complete ruin. This church still has all of the smaller spires are intact. So as far as you can tell, it is completely untouched by the apocalypse.
Cursed.
Yeah, this is too pretty.
Torg may say blessed.
That
was a sin.
could be it.
We could only be so lucky.
Goldwater, didn't you say that churches are tax exempt?
It depends on what the laws are. As the United States and the corporate entity of the United States fell apart, churches were considered businesses, but businesses were no longer taxable either. So,
I don't feel like that makes sense.
oh, it didn't. The end of America was a pretty bleak
Ugh.
place.
How
Glad I
close-
wasn't there for that.
How close do you want to get, Nevada? Just a couple hundred yards?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of slowing to a crawl at this point.
So there is a parking lot, and there are still cars there that were abandoned. So it had a big enough parking lot for a reasonably big congregation. So there's still like a dozen cars still in the lot. Also, you can see in the distance out back into the side, it's the kind of church that has its own cemetery.
Mm.
The cemetery also seems to be unmolested.
Navad, do you feel like you're getting any kind of like supernatural readings off this place or anything?
Well, let me Let me think.
Why don't you go ahead and roll 5 dice for me?
Okay. 1, 6, and a 5.
There is powerful magical energy emanating from the church and from the cemetery.
Oh,
You need to get closer to getting kind of actual read, but it is like, just like you can be close to a rad zone and you get like tingly and like get a copper taste, you can feel it in your fingertips.
Okay, so here's the thing. You know how they said this was like a haunted church?
Mm-hmm.
It's given off real vibes, like real ones.
Like haunted vibes.
What is vibes?
What is a
mean?
vibe? Yeah.
Like friendly haunted vibes.
Okay, you know how Pickles, we can hear you in our heads, but you're not talking, but it sounds like you're talking.
Yes.
Well, imagine if a place could do that, and I can feel that. They're not saying anything
Fantastic.
yet, but I can hear it. There's magic here.
Can you try a little bit harder to decipher if it's any kind of harmful?
We'd have to get closer, right?
Yeah, we probably need to get closer and spend a little bit more time. Yeah. Hey, Mike, wait, is this like an old church, like, or is this like a late 20th century, early 21st century, like mega church, or what's the architecture look like?
It is 50s, 60s Gothic revival.
Okay.
And it is undamaged so much that the door is still in place and the glass in the windows does not seem to be broken.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
This was a great idea.
Lita seems plagued by thought. Lita, what's going on up there?
I'm just thinking, I'm just wondering, Pickles, if we decide for whatever reason that this isn't the best spot for our new settlement, could we just choose another one? Are we like, we didn't sign a deed to this church,
Goldwater would know. Yeah.
I'd have to say that because our lovely group has decided unanimously that the church is the settlement. My superiors are already in progress to sending everything and everyone
to the church
here.
So
let me quote, if I knew you were involved in this, I apologize.
So let me go ahead and have the GM step in here. They did want you to scout. They would not have sent anything until you approved it. So whoever said there's no deed signed is absolutely right. You could literally have this thing be the van drives in and then
just pulls out.
Like you could absolutely nope this whole fucking thing.
Okay. That's what's going through. She turns to D and she's like, I'm just thinking, what if we just immediately leave?
If you contact Moriarty or the general, they're not sending anything. They're going to want confirmation. Like they said, they do not have boots on the ground to any of these.
We are the boots.
You are the
boots.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Then
so I don't know if it was clear to us at this point that Pickles and Lita are now kind of just
staying.
Did we know this?
I don't think they said anything.
Okay, so here's
why are you here?
As this conversation is happening, Navad is just gonna go, wait a minute, why are you guys here? Like, are you gonna stick around with us?
That is currently our assignment.
New friends.
I can't believe we drove all this way. We didn't figure this out.
I was kind of just avoiding it, if I'm honest. I don't think I have. I think I'm still in disbelief. If I'm honest.
I need to update the family portrait.
Oh, there's a family portrait.
Whoa,
How lovely.
There are several.
Speaking of family portraits.
Oh.
Jen here first. Torg wouldn't go anywhere without any, at least, update on the status of the baby Rip situation.
That's true.
That would
Yes.
all.
And Erik would not go without a churro. So we got some work to do.
So that would have been, I'm sorry, because that was implied. I should have made it more explicit. They would be taking care of that while you're doing the first scouting mission.
Right, and then
they would have to call a truck or something, and they would be sending that to the Shire while you're doing this.
Oh, please, I just want our first 4 episodes to be us trying out each place
Driving in
with like the moving van,
but in a very Goldilocks kind of way.
This one's just
this
right.
one's too hot.
But the word has not gotten out in the van, so we move on.
Right. He's like a secondary character, like Adventure Brothers. Like, it's the cats again. We're not even going to Texas this time.
Oh.
So are you going to get closer, park, and investigate the church? Or do you go, looks real scary, nope, and turn around and go home?
I'm going to make everybody inspect this place.
You're like, you dragged us here.
Yeah.
I agree with this entire sentiment, but for a completely different purpose. I want to know what's going on in there, because if it's actually of benefit to us in the fact that we're currently in a spot that is surrounded by some of the worst things imaginable,
Yeah.
but for some reason, this spot is untouched. We have to find out why.
Yeah.
I'm putting a whole lot of money on ghosts.
As soon as the truck stops or the van stops, I just open the door and immediately get out and start walking towards the church.
I follow Goldie.
I'm coming too.
Yeah, I follow.
Torg starts to walk, but Torg also looks at Navad and says, Torg okay if Navad want to stay, because Torg understand this may not be most pleasant place for Navad, brain-wise.
Navad, roll 5 dice for me, Navad.
Okay.
Oh man.
I got 2 6s.
As you're walking down the road past the parking lot, you see a man, a phantom of a man, wearing a aspirational business suit, who is fumbling with his keys while his young wife is holding a baby carrier. No one else sees them.
Hello?
They turn and all their skin comes off. Roll 5 dice for me.
Oh no. Oh no.
I got a 5.
So you only got a partial?
Yep.
So I think what would be your audible exclamation of distress? What would that sound and look like?
Oh.
And when you react like that, they just vaporize.
Oh. Okay.
D hears his subtle but not subtle.
And he looked over the direction of the parking lot, made that noise, and stopped moving. At least temporarily.
I look back and I'm like, hey, are you coming? Are you okay?
This place might not be great.
You
I look
think?
over my shoulder, and as I'm walking, I'm like, yeah. And I just keep
So
heading.
again,
So Erik walks up and slaps him on the shoulder and goes, "Just light your head on fire, man. I'm sure that'll solve everything."
so this is only to Navad, so only Shannon hears this. You say this might not be so great, and you hear, "Oh, that's where you're wrong, brother. It's brunch day. What did you bring?" There's a guy standing next to you who has come from golfing, and he has like a Jello mold.
A guy who's come from where? With a Jello mold?
Golfing.
Golfing. Hey.
I mean, you have to put up with the terrible sermon, but afterwards, we're gonna eat, my friend.
Are you here or are you a phantom?
And then his skin falls off. Roll 5 dice. Roll 5 dice.
One success.
Okay, so you all hear him kind of say something, and D hears what he said, and he reacts like Shannon did. He goes like, ah. So he said, only D understood the words. He literally said, "Are you a phantom?" He said that out loud.
Wait, who said that?
Seems creeped out.
Navad said that. Navad said
okay.
with no prompting, "Are you a phantom?"
You have
As
also, by the way,
Right.
you've gotten 1/3 of the way to the church, by the way.
This is going great.
I run back to Navad because I heard him, and I was like, so do we stop? I heard Phantom, do we stop?
Torg goes, please say nice Phantom. Please say nice Phantom. Please say nice Phantom.
And now you all hear the church bells ring.
Church bells are ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well,
I don't do services. I don't do that.
You object on religious grounds?
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. I don't know the songs. I have to mouth the words. I love to sing, but I just have to harmonize with notes. It's just a lot for me. I really like to participate in community activities, and I'm just not part of this community yet.
I think the test of being part of this community is not awesome. Torg?
What did you see?
Torg, when you said, please be nice, Phantom, please be nice, Phantom, they are, but
Yay!
But then they also all their skin falls off in front of my eyes and they disappear.
Navad, 5 dice, please.
Okay.
At this point, Lita has stopped with Professor Pickles and is certainly not getting closer to the church.
A success.
Torg has idea.
Pickles, and then I'm sorry, right back to Torg afterwards. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll thumb.
No, you're fine.
Pickles, because this might be important. The position of the committee is there is magic, but it is a new form of alternative physics that the committee does not yet understand but wants to study. Right? So there's context for this. So what were you saying, Jen?
Torg want to point out here. Torg understand how melting, burning flesh, in theory, may seem like bad, blue, scary. However, Torg would like to point out that that is how everyone die in fiery blaze. So maybe it is just the unfortunate side effect of the people who perished.
So Shannon, what did you roll?
I rolled a 6.
So you hear a peculiar whistling sound, and you look up, and the birds are falling. So you see
nuclear
missiles with contrast. The sky is full of them.
I'm going to kind of take a deep breath, count to 10.
You hear singing in the church.
Okay, I think this might not be a great place.
I just want to say, at no point did I stop walking.
I was about to say, is Goldwater in the church?
I was walking behind him.
I'm up. I'm at the front door, turning and looking back, and everybody clustered around.
Okay, so before you get to the front door, Goldwater, there is a deacon standing at the base of the stairs leading up, who has the day's pamphlets. They have a name. I used to go to church.
Missile.
No. Missile, like the days.
Oh, the missile.
Right. So he hands it to you. Are you here to say goodbye?
This was to Goldwater.
This is only to Goldwater.
So Goldwater sees this. Okay.
Yep. This has a very The Shining Mr. Torrance feel.
I'm going to reach out to shake his hand and put my hand on his shoulder.
Okay. He smiles with the sadness of someone that knows a loved one is about to die.
And I'll say, it's going to be okay.
The Lord will lift us all up together. And then his skin falls off. Roll 5. Your case, roll 3 dice, please.
Okay.
Because you're not a wizard or nothing.
I ain't not a wizard or nothing. I got a 6. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the new dice.
Okay, so you can hold. So, what does your sudden surprise, shock, horror, whatever you care to make it, what does that look and sound like?
I turn back towards the group and I walk very fast. I walk past everybody and I get back in the van and I say, "This was a mistake."
So you're talking, Navad, and Goldwater just walks by you, and he kind of vaguely shaking his head, and just is like going right to the van.
Yeah, he's literally noping out of here.
Do you want to shut out the bombs? Because it's about, you're in the middle of what amounts to a vision of the bombs dropping. Do you want to use your willpower and try to not see the apocalypse?
Just stick with it.
No, I kind of want to see this through.
Ride it out. It's so much better that way.
Yeah, for real.
So you hear they're singing a hymn in the church about being lifted up. So
Okay.
they seem to know and have accepted the end is coming, and have given themselves over to their Lord, and have come together, and apparently are going to have like brunch or have had brunch. But around you, you see the bombs drop. D, who I assume is standing closest to Navad.
Mhm.
Navad, you now have perspective into the apocalypse that you never had before. So he collapses to his knees, weeping, and his eyes are completely unseeing for at least a little while. Like he has seen the end of the world. And on purpose, he chose to see the end of the world. Goldwater, are you starting the engine? Or are you just like, fuck this? You're
I can't drive. I can barely drive.
right.
So I'm just kind of like,
Goldie's waiting by the car looking expectantly, so I drop to my knees in front of Navad, and I just grab his face very gently, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna go. Let's just go. We don't have to stay, and it's gonna be okay.
Navad would hear D. If nobody else, he would hear D. He would hear D.
Yeah.
And then I just kiss him on the forehead, and I put my forehead on his forehead, and I'm like, we're gonna go.
Wait. I want to see if I can talk to them.
Navad, we have to leave. This is ridiculous.
But I saw this place get bombed, but it didn't get bombed. It's still here.
So maybe it's a ghost bomb.
I think these people are stupid.
Great. We don't need to cure them of stupidity. We need to leave.
I want to try to help them be less stupid.
That is a fool's errand, and you will do it alone. We need you to
Over
drive.
his shoulder, D, and only D, sees the door to the church open, and kind of a church lady dressed woman comes out and starts walking towards Navad.
So I do something very out of character for myself, but in character for different versions of me. I get into battle stance, and I slam Navad backwards and drag him by the collar and like yeet to the car.
So your tiny, deadly sort of girlfriend is bodily pulling you into a van.
Yeah.
How hard do you resist that?
I'm gonna resist this.
Can I go ahead and roll for my aggressive stance?
If it comes down to martial arts and you choose to effectively physically master him. He does
Mhm.
not have the training to stop you, but you will have crossed the line. Because it will take not just pulling and pushing, it'll take, I have you in a hold and I have taken your choices away. So you're
Okay.
aware that you'd have to cross that line.
So before I cross the line, as we edge the line,
Right at the end.
Phrasing.
Edging it.
I do the slightly sexy, slightly intense thing where like I'm dragging him, right, and he's like resisting. So I just pin him to the ground and I get really close to him, eye to eye, so he can't see anything else. And I'm like, you need to pick what you care about, us or this fucking church. This is stupid.
I want to know what happened here.
Fine. And then I just get up and then I walk over to Goldwater and I start crying.
Oh man.
I awkwardly give a hug. I do my best. Nevada, if you want to find out what this place is about, we could come back here. You and me. But we're not staying here.
It's just spooky. Nobody's getting hurt.
I'm not
Is
living in
this
a
what
place-
Torg has been saying?
Nevada, there's a lady coming after you right now!
But she's not going to do anything.
You haven't seen her.
She stopped politely, like at the edge of the parking lot, is kind of waiting.
I turn to this lady. What? What do you want? What?
Your friend seems concerned.
Yeah, what's going on here? What are you doing?
We've called upon the Lord to protect us from the end.
Well,
Your
what
Lord has
happened?
forsaken you and everything around here. Just FYI.
He has not. The bombs have fallen, and yet we survived. I
How?
have returned to this service so many times, and the church is untouched. The Lord has answered, D.
I'm sorry. You know my name?
The Lord
Who are
speaks to
you?
me. Eleanor?
Do I know you, Eleanor?
No, but I'd be happy to get to know you.
Oh, I have enough friends. I made 2 new ones today.
We have hours before the bombs fall again.
What? How many
There's
times?
brunch. It's delicious.
How often do the bombs fall?
I'm not sure that my sense of time will match yours. It's all kind of dreamlike and blissful. You're welcome to join the congregation.
No.
At this point, Torg feels like D may be provoking a spirit that was perfectly fine. And so Torg just slides up to D and goes, "Hey, D. Torg say if D not want to go, D can stay in van and we can chat with friendly ghost lady and D can protect van."
That sounds great.
Has anyone not gone back to the van? Nevada has not gone back to the van?
And
And Erik has not gone back to the van.
And I have not,
Yeah,
and
where
Torg
are
has
we,
not come back
Pickles?
to the van.
I'm listen. Pickles is interested in this because this is exactly what, the collective, minds of the cast is just like, okay, new stuff. We want to know how this works. So this is like Pickles kind of wants to go in the church and figure out what's going on.
And if
So-
Pickles is going in the church, Lita's going in the church.
So exempted from the desire to go into the haunted church would be Goldwater, Torg, and D. We're protecting the van at this point.
Wait, no. Torg's going to the church.
Okay, so just Goldwater and D.
Goldie, are you staying outside? Yeah? Okay.
Oh, the look on his face is fuck this.
Yeah.
He's
Okay,
in
cool.
the
Yeah.
car, in the vehicle.
It is pretty unambiguous.
I'm having Goldie explain the difference between church and state to me.
Lita's giving D a look like, please take me with you, but no, she can't.
Yeah, your calling is very specific here, sadly. All
Okay.
right, so the rest of you approach the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull Karen and rack her just
Okay.
cause.
You now hear the sounds of animated, friendly talking, like fellowship, coming from the basement of the church.
No one in the main body of the church.
You head up, and the door is closed but not locked.
Okay.
And you all see an altar boy. He's cleaning up. Oh, hello. You're late for the service, but they've begun the fellowship downstairs. And then his skin falls off.
Okay.
Everyone who's not Navad, roll 3 dice. Navad, roll 5.
God.
Wait, roll what? 3 die?
3 dice, and you're looking for 6s.
I got 2 5s.
I got a
Okay,
5.
partial is enough to stay put, but
I
3 dice.
I got 2 4s and a 2.
Uh-oh.
I got a 6.
I got a 6 and a 4.
She didn't want to be there.
So Lita,
Yep.
what is your physical? What sounds like you lose your shit? You have not made your roll. Literally, there's this adorable 11-year-old, toe-headed kid in the white acolytes robes, and then his skin does Raiders of the Lost Ark. It sloughs off.
She's gonna retch and just go, "Oh my god," and turn to the side.
So Pickles, you've never seen her like that.
Lita.
Mhm.
And by the way, once the horror thing happens, the phantom generally is gone. So it does the face thing and vaporizes.
Lita,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a favor
I'm fine. I'm
for
fine.
your own benefit
Mm.
and for the sheer numbers of things, just
Mhm.
in case things go wrong. Please stay by the car.
I can't leave you in here alone with the skin things. I
I
can't. I'm sorry.
I can handle. I'm mentally strong enough to be able to handle whatever this actually is.
But what if it actually physically attacks? I know you can handle the skin thing.
I mean,
I know you can handle that,
to
but
quote our new friends, Torg strong.
yeah. Yeah, and you've got a
And-
gun.
and
So
Lita,
Pickles, you're persuading. So give me 5 dice. Let's see if you can talk. We'll go ahead and use a game mechanic here because you have legitimate authority over Lita.
3 6s.
Wow.
Irony.
She's
I'm
just
over-
gonna start retching again and go, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, I'm overusing the term unambiguous, but 3 6s for God's sake.
She's like, okay, but you know how to call me if you need me.
So
Right?
Lita comes stumbling out of the church retching, and Dee has a sympathetic gag reflex. So as Dee starts retching,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
the whole moment.
I'm sorry. It was horrible. Ugh.
No, you're fine. Did you see this skin thing too?
Yeah, it fell right off. It was
so
a
bad.
child. It was a child, and the
No.
skin. She's fanning herself.
I need 5 dice from Navad, please.
Ugh.
I got a 6.
This does not appear to be an illusion over a ruined church full of dead people. You're not sure how. These people are pretty clearly phantoms. They're clearly dead. But the building is not destroyed, and the bombs did fall, and they have not gone on to wherever people go. Something else is very powerfully magical is at work here. So I'd imagine, considering what you've seen, you were kind of half expecting to walk into the church and see the dead bodies in the pews.
Right.
You don't see that.
I thought.
So, do I get a sense of where is there any directional to it?
So at this point, I think you get more information. You've got your reading ability. You could try to read the magic.
Mm-hmm.
You want to cast a spell?
Yeah, what can I cast in this situation?
Don't worry about it right now. I'll just have
Yeah,
you.
I kind of want to just see, like, okay, I'm getting these vibes or whatever, I want to see if I can pinpoint it more accurately. Because I am beginning to suspect some other thing is animating their
So
present.
roll 4 dice for me. This could
Okay.
get interesting fast.
I got 2 5s.
There is a light, when you use the ability, a light springing the beam up near the altar, like at the front of the main church.
Okay, like a light. I sense a source of light.
You see it, like to your eye when you cast a spell. It comes, you make it come into being.
I'm gonna start walking up there, guys. I think I need to check out something up by the altar.
All right, I cover him.
I'm coming with you.
You
I love. Hold on. I love literally that it is a wizard and a cat in a desecrated church, like, walking up to deal with. Okay. Anyway, this is goth as hell. Anyway,
So as you approach the light, you and Pickles, but not Erik, who's farther back, you and Pickles will see there is a young man in his late 20s, early 30s, slender but fit, darker skin, like Mediterranean, beard, long hair, white undyed robes. Am I who you're looking for, Navad?
oh man, maybe.
Well, you found me.
Get out of here. Wait,
That's so hard to believe.
look. I said this earlier. I said, have you ever read about Christianity? And
He
I was
holds up
making
his
a joke
hand.
that it's like,
He holds up his hand, and there is a wound in his palm.
What?
okay,
Jumping, Jesus Christ.
Literally.
You're a mage, right?
yeah.
My son. You're
Yeah.
expecting my son, right?
No, I'm a mage. I wasn't expecting you to call me my son.
All right, I'll dispense with that then. All these people wanted something very intensely during a supreme moment, during a moment that would have very strong magical energy. You can't
Oh,
believe that the thing they wanted came to pass.
wait a minute. They willed you into existence. They willed you into being. This is
He
kind of a metaphor.
smiles at you. Think kindly of them. They were just afraid.
Okay.
I was able to protect the church. They've protected themselves, and they persist.
And they do this every day?
It's what they are now. And what they are is worship and fellowship and celebration. It's no kind of doom, Navad.
No, I understand. I'm not mad or afraid, but I have a question. Would we violate what they're up to if other people were here?
Yes, it might disrupt it.
Okay. Well, I think collectively we've already come to the decision that this isn't the greatest place to be anyway.
You encountered several members of the congregation, and by doing so, you made them re-experience their own deaths.
Yeah, that's not great.
They didn't pass because they're protected by me, by themselves, by their faith. but it's something they shouldn't have to feel again.
Okay. I can respect that. I do respect that. And also, I got to say, some of the people that I came here with, they already can't deal with it. I can't imagine trying to make more people deal with this.
It's quite a leap that you've made, and some psyches I don't think could make the jump.
I'm afraid to eat chocolate, so I get it.
Can I do you a small favor?
Sure.
He performs a miracle and fixes that.
I can tell right away.
Yeah, he lays hands on you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He laughs. A very friendly. He's like the kind of guy that you would love to have as a wingman at a bar. He's like a Bruce.
He's like the laughing.
He's like your buddy. Yeah.
You've seen
It's
those
Buddy
movies,
Geezer.
right? Like,
Buddy Christ!
Buddy Christ.
Buddy Christ! Yay!
So I would think it might be best if you let the legends of this place remain.
oh yeah. There's no way we would send anyone here besides us. We'll let the legends stay. Hey, do you know a guy named Mr. Bruce?
I do not. Is he a
Okay.
tailor? He sounds like a tailor.
No, he's a pangolin man.
What's a pangolin man?
A spiny anteater. Hey,
Well,
look,
I only really know the world that came up to the end. I know nothing of the world outside the church now. There are pangolin men, and that's not a sexual thing.
no, it's apparently I've never met one. I know some badger guys and rabbit people. And,
I've known badger guys. There were a lot in Rome.
all right, Jesus.
Hold on.
I think we're gonna go. Hey, Pickles, did you get any of this?
Unfortunately, I did.
Hold on. Did you think that at any point in this game you would say, "All right, Jesus"?
No.
Can I
What a great episode for
Hold-
Kdin and I to join.
I have
right,
to
Jesus.
not waste this opportunity. Can Pickles ask Jesus a question?
Yeah.
Go right ahead. And what would the ultimately evolved, the final evolution of the entire species of cat, what would the cat have to say to Jesus?
How did you get these people to give such undying faith that this would protect them?
It is, to my awareness, a combination of fear and fellowship, connection to the other people in the congregation. So united by fear in this way, it was stronger than any of them could be individually.
Fair enough, Jesus.
Community is very important, but I suspect you know that. And by
That
the way,
is-
the general's first name is in fact Katie.
So,
You were clearly curious.
so Erik has racked Karen back into the thing
Yup.
and is crying and walks up to Jesus and very quietly under his breath says, "Can you make it stop?"
Oh.
He looks into your eyes and says, "It's not your fault."
Oh.
And Erik breaks down crying for real and falls to his knees and says, "Thank you."
He turns to Navad. The cycle is coming around. The bombs will fall soon. It's not an irregular pattern to this timeline. I would get your friends out of here.
Gotta go.
Can Torg say something to Jesus before?
Given that sentence being so great, absolutely.
I like the idea that they're all inside talking to Jesus, and in the car, Goldwater, D, and Lita are just like, so.
Well, and to you, it's like Arkham Horror, as far as you know. Right.
I'm like, how long have you been dating Navad? You know, just trying to make small talk.
I want the answer to that question before I go back to Torg.
Well, we didn't have an official, ask out day. It just sort of happened. So I think kind of like a few months. It's going well. It's going well. I don't have a lot of competition though. So.
Right.
Meanwhile, inside, Torg.
So Torg, seeing all this, of course, and seeing everyone's either pain be relieved or, answers to burning questions.
He's certainly having an impact on your friends.
So clearly Torg has one thing on their mind. And so Torg just goes straight up to Jesus and says, Torg just want to know if baby Rip okay. That's all Torg want to know. Can Jesus tell Torg if baby Rip okay?
I can't reach beyond the church and know nothing of the world outside, but I do know that you've been more a mom than Rip's mother could have possibly been, and have given tremendous love to a creature that otherwise would have been alone. So Rip is and will be okay.
Torg thank Jesus.
Jesus loves Torg. And now you should really get out, because steam is going to start falling and bombs, and it's going to get really terrible in here.
Yeah, we gotta go.
We need to leave now.
Let's go.
Immediately.
I mean, your other choice is to join the congregation.
No. We're fine. Good on congregation.
We're good.
We're gonna
Time to go.
do that somewhere
So,
else.
there's-
Thank you.
That was about 20 minutes. So the other members of the team, it's about 20 minutes. And then they all come half running out of the church, but they all look affected. Like something significant has definitely happened.
Torg is smiling profusely and just immediately like, Torg was right. Torg was right. Torg was right. Torg was right.
Torg was right.
We were also kind of wrong though. This is a terrible place to create a settlement.
Yes, but Torg very much had a feeling that it didn't have to be a negative presence.
Oh, it wasn't. Yeah, but
And that's what
It felt
That
pretty
is-
negative to me for what it's worth.
That's fair, but trust me when I say that what happened in the church, it was nice. We have to get out of here
I
though.
think the most immediate, obvious change would be Erik. Because when you're on somebody that has that much tension and they're carrying that much weight, they suck the oxygen out of a room, and that's gone. So like when Erik gets in the van, it's not like, there's always that sense, it's not the same, but it's similar to being around the abuser, where you're always like this, and there isn't that feeling at all.
So Erik kind of leans up and kind of like does this over your shoulder and goes, "You miss Jesus."
And that is the fucking button. So I'm going to call that the end of the episode. The camera pull back as the van pulls away. We will have learned that the new settlement, sponsored by the Ultra Cats, will not be based in the haunted church that has an incarnation of the Christ resident in it. All right. That was our first session of season 2. We have an arc. The arc is, you probably already figured out, is thematic. It's called Remove Curse. Make of that what you will, because I will. We will be back next week, and and you're gonna do closing, Shannon?
Yeah, I got it. I'll take it.
So I do want to say thank you to everybody, and welcome to Hannah and Kdin.
Yeah.
Glad to have you on board.
What a welcome.
Oh wow.
That's amazing.
Real fun.
Hey, so is it me? Am I up? I don't even know what's happening.
You're up.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, everybody, thank you all so much for joining us for season 2. As usual, we want to thank our moderators, Qui-Gon Bowers and Tiger Stripe Moon were in the chat. Andreas Fabus for our audio opening, and our chronicler, Brett, who kept us filled in on some of the backstory in the chat, and is always watching so that we know what to refer to in future episodes. Join us next week. We have our new schedule. We're on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. the first 3 Tuesdays of the month. So we'll do these 3 Tuesdays, and then we're going to take one off. Then we'll be back the first 3 Tuesdays in June. Our guest for the next 2 episodes is Rooster Teeth animation writer Eddie Rivas is going to be joining us. So we're really excited to host him. So come check us out, and maybe we'll figure out where this next settlement is going to be. Until next time, we will see you in the wasteland.